It's week 3. Well, week 4. It's week 4.
Now that they're starting to want to explore things that are away from me, like I walk the puppies around on flexi leashes and harnesses. So I want them to understand that they can go and explore and they can pull into harnesses and things like that. But I need to be able to pull them away from things that are unsafe or that I just don't want them to access at that time. So when I'm using the harness to pull them off of things, I need to make sure that they still understand you're allowed to pull in. It's just sometimes you can't get to the thing that you want to get to. So rather than me doing a lot of that stuff in lifestyle where I'm pulling them off things using the harness, and then if we go to use it in bite work or somewhere else and they yield to it, like it's going to be a problem. So I teach them to chase food and pull into the harness, and then the pressure comes off and they get the food or the toy. We did it in bite work the other night at a club where they're pulling into the harness to get to you. So all of that has to be in balance or they're going to think that they have to yield to the harness. So we're doing that in play, in lifestyle stuff. Like if they want to sniff something and I can see that they are pretty committed to going to this smell or whatever it is, and it's okay to do that, I'll put a little bit of tension through the line and then let them reach it and things like that. So it becomes sort of a bit organic. They're not really thinking it's a training session. I'm just capturing some moments and adding a little bit of resistance. But if they really want to get to that plant and sniff it or whatever, then it's just helping me load what I want this harness to be. Oh, blue, I was just gonna say blue collar. Red collar's trying to get a leg right. What they think. Why does she want to make me stare at this thing? Yeah. I don't know.
Man, this chick loves these fucking stupid washers. He loves it when we stare at them.
Teaching tracking young, because you're not going to use any compulsion and it's this is a slow process.
Yeah.
These dogs aren't going to track for 6, 8, 12 months really. They're not going to be a dog that can track.
Yeah.
And so I think that it's one of the things that is really safe to teach a dog, because there's no rush to get this. It's not something you're going to put on command, and it's not something that is going to happen as a point of lifestyle. Like teaching a dog positions, sit down, stand as a puppy, it's going to be sitting, downing and standing. And you're going to have blurriness, and there's are we in the session? Are we out of the session? Are we reinforcing? Is the dog trying to prompt this from me? There's just lots of ways it can go wrong. When people think that the dog has an understanding of it, but he's just a tiny baby, he has no understanding of it. He just understands this context of what gets me food in this context, rather than there's a specific behavior, there's a specific thing. So I think the tracking or the article indication, for starters, you're hardwiring the dog to this is the thing that's important to you, but it's something that you can teach really slowly, in really small increments. You can give them all of the cues, all of the signaling inside their critical period, so that it's with them for life, that's imprinted forever, that when somebody clips something, when somebody clips what looks like the tracking line to your collar, lifts up your leg and puts it under your leg, you go straight into tracking mode, and you're developing these habits around that in a behavior that is so separate, so isolated, and is a natural and a fun dog behavior to do. I think also the benefit of teaching tracking to such tiny babies is that it's not something that brings their awareness into you.
Pushes it away, helps them want to explore further.
That's one of the issues, is in an attempt to build engagement, people then are just zeroing the dog in on them too much, that they then end up with such a strong inwards focus on the dog.
And we need these dogs to be able to send away, so it's hugely important to do the opposite.
Yeah.
But have enough engagement with us when it's required.
Yeah. So there's value in work that isn't here in front of me, even though it is right in front of you, but they're going to then start exploring further out. And again, the increments of that are going to be minute. And that, you expect that, and you wouldn't dream of thinking they know it, let's go tracking. At the moment, you probably wouldn't even describe anything they're doing as tracking.
It's nothing to do with scent work right now. It's literally just a behavior. Like
it's a monkey drill.
Yeah, they just they're probably like, what are you doing? Like, why is this thing so important that I'm earning food just by staring at this thing? Y'all are weird. You know, it's just a behavior to them, but it's as we said last week. It's the introduction to indirect rewards. It's the introduction to transactional sort of things with rewards and behaviors. Nail trims, we did nail trims. So I expected a little bit more of a response from them. Like I did the prep to make sure they're comfortable in that position and things like that. Maybe they'll respond more on the next one, but yeah, they just reacted a little bit less than what I was sort of anticipating. I didn't do all their nails, but so maybe if I did all their nails, we would have got a bit more. But yeah, we got through just a couple, just a short little thing. I got some footage of that as well. So it's kind of like same thing like with the vet prep. They're just between my legs here, and then I've got my Dremel, and it's got a flexible cord, so I hold it like a pen. They're all comfortable, that they're already completely comfortable with the position, and then it's just like, hey, I'm just nicking off the edge of your paw with this Dremel, and it's not like I'm trimming them all the way back and being real precise. It's just getting them used to the sensation, the sound. Now they already heard the sound. They were in their crates, just like in a different room in the house, and I was trimming Genta's nails. So that's their first exposure. I generally try to have them not anywhere near the Dremel the first time. They just hear it. It's in the background. Like they might go, oh, what was that? Cool, whatever. You got nothing to do with it.
So you're happy with that? That's that you've put in all the work, ready for the vet stuff.
Yeah.
So now it's easy. You can
exactly.
start progressing this husbandry stuff from here and start. They know how to lay and relax. Now you can start putting them through stress while they do that and inoculating them to what is real stress.
And that's the thing. It's a pretty fascinating thing to watch. Them going like, oh, I'm unsure about this, and they look to you for guidance, for support, for whatever, and you're like, man, it's cool, I see you, I got you, like it's fine, I'm working with you, I'll give you like a nail trim here, I'll give you a small break and go, nice buddy, like I'm with you, man, like I'm gonna help you through it, we're cooperating, we're working together, I'm gonna help you through it. And then they fall into it. They sort of relax, and that's such a nice thing to watch, because that's a massive part to the relationship.
Yeah.
We're still constantly working on kennels and crates and yard pens and stuff, not barking, just that sort of lifestyle stuff. They're upstairs right now. We're not working with them today, so they can have a whole time of like, hey man, you can anticipate all you want. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. So go up, have a sleep.
Yeah.
They still had their outlets this morning. They did their article indications and it's boring. So like, you know, I haven't just gone, you can't do anything today. I've given them enough for what they need, but it's like, don't come here and expect it. Remember, you've got to be calm. You can't just be frantic all the time. So.
Yeah, so starting to interrupt the patterns that they're starting to find and going to them, hey, I know you think that you came here to do high drive stuff.
But you were wrong.
But you actually came here for your nap. And that's all. There will be no high drive stuff. We're not going to interrupt your naps, because we bring them here, they're asleep, we've got stuff to do, this is the time we have to do it, we wake them up. They happily do it, but then they're like, well, this is not the sleeping place. Yeah. So we're showing them, no, this is a place where you can just relax. You don't have to be in some high state of arousal. And the only time that it's appropriate to go into a high state of arousal is when we tell you that, and that isn't going to be every time we're here. Because I think that if we, you know, if every time a dog is at a place, they get the cue to go into a high state of arousal, then the place is the cue. That's it.
Sounds about right.
All right, well, that's it. Another week with these puppies. There's a playlist here of all the videos so far, and there's another video here of something else you might like. These buttons here are me and Jazz's profiles here on YouTube. Check those out if you want. Au revoir.